Hello everyone, how's it going? Remember to like, sub, and share. It does help me out a great deal. So, TimTheTatman. Now, if you watched any of these guys' streams when it comes to TimTheTatman, Nickmercs, Dr. Disrespect, they know each other on a personal level. I used to watch Dr. Disrespect stream, not so much anymore, personal preference, but yeah, they are really good friends. They've on their streams they talk about their lives, personal details, family matters, a lot of stuff. Like I think Doc only breaks character like when he's like talking to them on that personal level. But regardless, like these guys all know each other, so a lot of people were waiting for TimTheTatman to talk about the Nickmercs situation. So if just a short recap, I already did a video on this. Nickmercs said, "Leave the kids alone," and addressed in teaching kids about LGBT situations, and he just said, "Leave the kids alone." I'm going to remain neutral. I'm not going to say anything about that, but that's what he said. And then basically the internet blew up. They started saying that he was a lot of things, mixing his words around, trying to put interpretations of what he was saying. Like they were trying to read like a very intense novel with many different interpretations between the lines. It was just overblown in a large degree to the point that Activision Blizzard removed his entire bundle, which was bundled with TimTheTatman. He got his bundle removed, and it happened in the course of a day. So a lot of people were calling out Activision Blizzard on this because the company is known for a lot of heinous things like the sexual harassment allegations, the Cosby Room, the woman who ended herself because nudes of her were circulating all over the office, Bobby Kotick threatening his, I believe, threatening one of his employees to that he was going to end them as well. There are so many things that happen at this company. Cube crawls was something that people I forgot to address on that, where they would literally go into the cubicles of people and do heinous things. So it was just so much stuff, and a lot of people were like, "So you can do this within the first day, and then they can't fix their games," which is another thing that's problematic among Activision Blizzard. Their games always are falling into dire straits. Session hijacking is a huge problem with older Call of Duty games. Not even older Call of Duty games. Like after a year, Call of Duty's been released, they release a new game, and then they kind of abandon the last game. They don't really keep up with the updates because right now Black Ops Cold War, which is like a 2-year-old game, literally is suffering from that, and they refuse to fix it despite modders coming out. So I know that was a bit to digest, but it's to give an edifice of what this is dealing with. So TimTheTatman asked Activision to remove his Call of Duty bundle in support of Nickmercs. Now, this is what he stated after the whole situation.
I'm sure a lot of you saw what happened with Nick yesterday. So I'm gonna just say this at the front, man. I love Nick. I talked to him for about 30 minutes last night. I know him, bro, and I truly do not think he meant to hurt anyone with what he said. It really, all I can say is this, man. Tatman Army, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. All right. We talked for a while last night, and he's doing all right. But that's all I can really say on it, man. That's all I'm really going to say on it. All right.
So a lot of people saw that. This is my first time seeing this. Is that the way I interpret it? He's trying to remain as neutral as possible. He doesn't know where to go with this because he's also a big Warzone streamer. I don't know if he's married or has a family like that, but still, like, you do have to like. He doesn't know what to do. I'm sure they're friends, and he was like, you have to do what's best for you, and you have to do what's best for him. So you don't know whether you should put all of this into consideration. It's very hard. Like when you have a personal friendship like that, do you put your professional life first or do you put your friendship first? Because I'm sure he makes a lot of money and he's already at the point where he's made so much. But as you get older, relationships matter a lot more than money. And time to be afraid to speak just shows how much he knows will rain down on him if he says the wrong thing. Exactly. People need to stand up for these. I can't say that because YouTube. And you can read these comments. There's a lot of people who are like, you should stand up for him. But the thing is that a lot of people looking at it from the outside, you don't know what their relationship is like. I'm sure Nick is probably like, you got to do what's best for you, we'll still be friends, don't worry, I know you are in a very difficult state, because again, they were both featured in Call of Duty at the same time, and I think they're the first in terms of content creators, correct me if I'm wrong. So it's a very difficult state for both of them. They don't know where to act, because of course you want to be with your friend, but at the same time, like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So but let's see what the article says. Nickmercs controversy has in many ways divided the Call of Duty community. In the hours following the initial related to a Pride Month event, he was called out by several fellow content creators and big figures within the Call of Duty community and beyond. Yeah, there have been people on both sides who basically are either with him or against him. Dr. Disrespect uninstalled Warzone and asked his community to do the same. And yeah, it's a huge thing because, again, you don't know what to go on what side. That said, he's had to support those who agreed with his tweet. However, the developers behind Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2 removed his skin from the joint store. God, seriously. And they said they were focused on celebrating Pride with their employees and community. That's what a lot of, like, personally speaking, I was just like, so you were able to do this within a heartbeat, but you can't fix the actual problems with your game, because that's what I'm really annoyed about. I'm like, there have been problems that have been existing in these games for years, from cheating, hacking. I'm going to do a video later on about that. There's this console hack that's existed for a while now, and it still works, despite them saying, oh, we have new Ricochet updates. It's like, come on, guys. Like, your product is falling, it's failing. You need to, like, fix this stuff. And this just seems like they're trying to take an easy win on top of, like, all the controversy surrounding their company. Like, they're like, oh, this is an easy win. It's not. You just made it even worse. Like, all you have to do is stay quiet, I guess. That's what I still fall in that foundation. I think they should have just not said anything. The Nickmercs controversy has in many ways has divided the community. In the hours following the initial tweet related to a Pride Month event, he was called out by several. I already read that because the ads are screwing me up. That said, he's also had to support those who agreed with his tweet. No, I read that too because, again, the ads, dude, come on. This led to Dr. Disrespect uninstalling Warzone 2 while he was live, and now TimTheTatman is calling for Modern Warfare 2 developers to remove his bundle from the game as well. Despite TimTheTatman not being embroiled in the drama that enveloped Nickmercs over the days following his controversial tweet, he now wants his skin bundle to be removed from the shop in solidarity with his close friends. I mean, yeah, even though he's not part of the drama, it's still his friend. Like, if something happened to my friend Esther or Stefan, I would be there in solidarity. Like, if something happened that I don't fully understand or it doesn't affect me, you're going to be there for your friend. You're going to be like, yeah, they're going through a difficult time. I'm going to be there for whatever they have to deal with. Like, I would say a former friend of mine, he lost a family member. I dropped everything that I was dealing with, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go see him. I'm going to see how he's doing. I'm going to talk to him, and that's fine. That's what I did. When stuff like that happens, you drop everything to help someone that needs you. Tim didn't say whether or not he supports Nick's message, but he expressed that he wants to support his friend and have his bundle removed from the store if Nickmercs isn't available for purchase. Nickmercs has been my friend for years, and he went on to getting our COD operators together. It feels wrong of me to have mine and no longer have his. In support of my friend, please remove the TimTheTatman bundle. And we have the nodded meme from, I don't know what movie that is. It's just whatever. Both Tim and his viewers have enjoyed seeing his skin in-game, with him even eventually getting swarmed by an army of Tim in-game. Loyal fans who bought the operator were clearly happy with their purchase. That said, fans of Tim have voiced their support for both him and Nickmercs amid the controversy, and the tweet has just viral just minutes after it was posted. Activision has just responded to the matter. We'll be sure to update you should his skin be removed in the coming hours, yet it's unclear if the people who own either the TimTheTatman or Nickmercs skins will be able to refund their purchases. I doubt it. Like, this is Activision Blizzard we're talking about. Like, this is the company that literally fired, let me look it up. Yeah, this is the company that did this. So, they're not really going to give a damn about refunds. Like, their profit first. Let's look at what's happening with Diablo 4. a $70 game where you can buy a $25 skin of a Wraith. So I doubt they're gonna refund it. As for him asking for them to remove it, I'm pretty sure there's a contract that prevents that from happening because let's face we can't know what's in a contract unless you've actually had first-hand account to it. But I'm pretty sure there's an early termination clause in some situation. You can't just ask for that stuff to be removed. Probably you would have to pay a fine or something. And I don't know, like ultimately I think Tim siding with his friend will win him a lot more points than staying with this whole situation. Like, let's face it, he'll gain a lot more viewers, people who probably don't watch his stream, but watch Nickmercs and Dr. Disrespect. They'll probably go to his stream or to his channels and sub to him because of solidarity for what he's doing now. I think he weighed the options. Not only from a business perspective, but I think he waited more as a personal friend and just said, you know what, I'm going to side with him because I'm just taking it from an outside perspective. I made my money. I don't have to worry about that anymore. I value my friendship with this guy more than I do with whatever this situation is going on, and I know my community will stand by me, so screw it. I want you guys to remove it. That's how I'm seeing this. Like I've stated this before, I try to remain as neutral as possible, but when it comes to Call of Duty, the way I see it is that let's go big screen to be more personal. I think what's happening with Call of Duty right now is they painted themselves in a corner, in a really, really bad corner. Like the walls and the floor is covered in paint right now. And basically, if they removed TimTheTatman, it's going to look even worse for them because now they're going to be like, okay, we're going to boycott all the Call of Duty games and stuff like that because it will affect their bottom line. Call of Duty is a billion-dollar franchise and it only gets there because of the very insidious microtransactions. They are insidious. I remember that $40 Call of Duty Vanguard skin that people still bought. Like, and when you have a very dedicated community of three of the biggest first-person shooter streamers there is, whose entire community says, screw this, we're not going to deal with this, we're going to go somewhere else, it's going to affect your fiscal report. It's just going to. Like, you're going to have a bunch of people who are just going to do it out of solidarity. The other thing is that if they bend the knee, they're going to basically be shunned by both sides because the community who are against Nickmercs and what he stated, they're probably on Call of Duty side for doing this, but whether they purchase the game or the product is up in the air. From my experience, I've learned that people who yell about products in this type of way over the internet usually do not buy said products. But at the same time, if you bend the knee and allow his skin to be removed TimTheTatman, it's just going to make things worse. And if you allow Nickmercs back onto the Call of Duty scene, you're going to make enemies of everyone who were pro your decision. So you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. So you're basic, and you could say, well, then you will get back all those people who were on Nickmercs and TimTheTatman and Dr. Disrespect's side. Not a guaranteed, because there are people with a lot of pride who will say, I'm still not going to support this company because of what they're doing. Again, there are a lot of people who don't support the company based on what they did for the Hong Kong incident, and a lot more controversies that I already made note of. So in reality, they've basically like literally painted themselves in the corner by doing all this. I still stand by my argument that I felt like they should have said nothing, done nothing, and just said we're focusing on the game, that's what we should focus on. But the fact they decided to do all of this and throw their hat into the ring just made things worse. I don't know what they were thinking by doing this, because again, there was no way that this was going to end in a positive note. This was always going to end on a bad note, because when it comes to things like this, there's always going to be nuclear bombs going everywhere. It's going to be like the mushroom bomb from Adventure Time. It's just going to cause so much calamity, and the fallout is just going to be even worse. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm not a marketing expert. I'm not a PR expert, but that's how I see it. I feel like if they just didn't address this and just left it to boil and just walk away from it, it would have been far better than by indulging into this. Focus on the game, focus on what your company is known for. You're not politicians. It's not your job to put your hat in the ring for this stuff. That's why we have politicians. That's why we have people in government. They have to deal with this stuff. And again, I'm not a parent, so I don't have full say in all of this because I don't know how I would feel in this situation. You'll never feel what it's like to be a parent until you are a parent. I can say that from experience, seeing my friends who have changed, who have had kids, they've become completely different people because they have little ones now that they have to think about. So I can't really say what I would be in that situation because I'm not in that position. Either way, I take that for what it is. I really, really want to just remain neutral in this situation. Just look at it from an objective stand of view and just say, okay, why did you do this if there was no winning situation in this entire situation? And now you're in this corner where if you do anything at this point, it's going to be looked onto a microscope and it's going to affect you regardless of which side you take on this. That's how I feel about it. I think Tim's situation is just him trying to side with his friend, and I think that's the best case scenario. Either way, tell me what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear other people's opinions. Like the video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. This is me signing out.